Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sognsdal Saga series, in which we have expanded slightly, at least as far as our dynasty is concerned, particularly down in Brittany, where I've installed my nephew to rule the Rike of Dangaland, also known as Brittany in the Old Norse language. As the name suggests, he is the only son of Aslog, who is my half-sister and friend. You know what she's doing, poor? All right, child. And it is good that you named her Astrid, named after my mother, Astrid the Great, who will never ever be forgotten, despite the flaws that she may have in being an adulterer and a murderer. But she's the one that united Norway. That one can't be taken away. And yet, the children of Astrid, besides myself being the ruler of Norway, which I'm still fine health-wise, I'm expected to live into the 70s. Whereas Hodakanutta, who is of the incorrect faith, took off Kalmas, so now he lives there. They rule under the Prussians. Polabians rule Poland. And of course, we cannot forget that recently the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Roman Empire, has been dismantled due to inheritance, and the capital was disconnected from the rest of the empire, and now it's broken up into many kingdoms and duchies there. And so this would create quite a turmoil that may come to Anatolia if they don't get their act together. Because knowing one day the Abbasids will have to take advantage of all of this by going westward. So everything's a mess down there. And soon I'm about to create another mess. But it'll be up near our home. Sweden has attacked us the last 3 times for a single piece of territory. Now I feel it's time to pay back in kind. So I am planning on an offensive against them, starting with Lapland, because my idea is to be expansive towards the north, towards areas that are mainly populated by the Sápmi, and I wish to make vassals out of the Sápmi people because I view them as useful people regarding their traditions, especially them being winter soldiers and having one of these. I don't plan on forming a hybrid culture with them because that'd be too strange. We are much more superior moral fiber, so to speak. I mean, I don't aim to conquer all of this, although I could, if I want to, subjugate every single one of them, but, even if I did, he gets everything. Which in a perfect world, that'd be fine, but you're also inviting instability. And as well as the issue of them who would also use Scandinavian elective, so it'll be split no matter what. So that's why I'd rather just take the whole north cut them off and all that. They can keep parts of Denmark. That's my idea. And as well as if there's any Sápmi that still live there, I'm going to make them vassals to rule their lands. I just noticed apparently the Finnish name for the Kingdom of Novgorod is Rurikinlinna, which I guess that means the land of the Rurik or the Rus or whatever it is, because it's named after, you know, obviously the Rurikins, which that dynasty no longer exists, unfortunately. Interesting name though. Let me look if you can invade the kingdom. That's an option. I'm just looking. This is what's left of them. I wish I could. Just looking. The only problem is you just took up everybody. We were supposed to have cooperation instead. You are making things a little, you know, hard on ourselves for any future phases in the long run. Now, I'm still gonna go with the plan to defeat the Swedes for Lapland. Yes, the Sápmi are still there. They're still in their lands. That's why I want them to be vassals, and perhaps one day they'll rule the entirety of Sápmi under their supervision. So they live in that part as well. Very well then. Let's go for it. Second one's over there. We have to split the armies up like this. If they attempt to conquer any of my lands, well then, it's not that big of a deal. The fate of the Norsemen. Living in the harsh lands of Scandinavia, our people have a history of ensuring prosperity and survival through trading, pillaging, and fighting with swords or hire. Over time, this resulted in the accumulation of great wealth, making our people put down roots and settle in permanent homesteads with greater frequency. Now these songs have begun to diverge from each other culturally, as their traditions, even languages, change to meet the demands of their new lifestyles. You do not control 80% of all the Norse counties. So this is why I just became a new culture head. But this is a new era. Seems that as it feels like we're a dying breed, the Norse out here in Norway, but we must forge our own identity, our own destiny. That's the reason why we're fighting against Sweden with this issue. So we must ensure our own prosperity first and foremost. So all the Norse counties and characters in my realm will become Norske. So all Nordrun become Norske, also known as Norwegian. So our cultures and traditions have changed. Even the name of the country has changed. Now it's Norway. Now keep in mind, so this was the year 960 that these cultures have been formed. Danska, Svenska, and Nordska. However, the Norse still remain in Iceland, but they'll probably become Icelandic one day. Interestingly enough, we have largely maintained those characteristics. We still have the thing. We still have coastal warriors. Northern stories is still on. Performative honor is still also a thing, as well as experienced whalers. The only thing that's no longer there for us is malleable invaders, where creating a hybrid culture costs less and creates costs and all that. So now that's no longer the case here. Everybody's still bellicose. And whatever we were trying to get, well, we still have them. I am still determined to go for city planning. One of these days, we gotta get this many innovations of this current era. And possibly, you know, all the other things. Hey, what about you down there? There's still Norse. My son, he's Norwegian. Norwegian. So now we forged our own identities to become distinct with one another instead of all Norse now. And what of the minorities? Split. Well, by minorities, I mean those who are majority but living in Sápmi lands. The Swedes live up there, and the Old Norse still live there. Large minority of North. Just looking. No Norwegian minorities. Well, basically those who are outside of those countries have just basically, you know, forged their own identity in some fashion. Some still hang on to the old traditions, and others, well, we just simply want to, you know, go on and try to live this new era. This one's well fortified. We'll have them dealt with soon. Although I fear they're going to try to go to Trondheim. By the way, that's the name of our name of our capital. It's no longer Nidaros, it's Trondheim. There's so many that has just gathered there now. We'll deal with them after we take the first part of the objective. So basically you got them half done. All you need is a Pite and Yoka Moke. Right. What does that make my mother Astrid? Norse. Here we go. We got a convenient back scratcher. That's a stress loss. I step out of my tent, the siege camp sprawls out before me, a jumble of grey and shapeless canvas. Militant industry, men and women, all accompanied by the incessant drone of the flies. Standards and colors flap and snap in the wind, leading the bare rocks that rise from the earth. Gulls circle above, calling to one another with shrill cries. The smell of tar and neatswood oil hangs in the air. My low retainer approaches and informs me that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. The Shelio, is that how do you say that in Sami language? The Shelio of Seote stands before me, a bonfire of flaming timber. In the fields between lie the blackened corpses of slain men, burnt out hovels choked with rubble. Windows are shuttered or smashed. Lofty doors lie warped on the rusty hinges, torn off their hinges and littering the cobblestones in fragments. Grass, stones, and mortar shoot from the roofs and chimneys. A few grim, ragged men sit and idly waiting about them. Spare them. If I ever get mad, I know who I'm gonna get mad to. Prepare yourself. We'll be there in a couple of days. It's because they still had food supplies all this time. We're gonna try to scare them off. This way. I exit my tent, the siege camp sprawls up before me. A maze of sagging tents and ramshackle huts lit by yellow fires of cook fires and green glow-cast lighted lanterns. Piles of gear and discarded thoughts of travel cluster all around. Wagons and animals, mules, donkeys and oxen, horses and even a camel or two. Don't ask, we probably got a camel from those raids back there, expeditionary ones. Standards and colors fly snap from the wind, bleeding against the bare rocks that rise from the earth. Gulls circle above, calling one another with shrill cries. The work is endless. The earth is morass of mud and bodies. The air is foul and musty beneath the canopy of tarps that cover the tents. The sweet scent of horses and sweat and leather intermingle with the mixtures of blood and dried shit that cake our boots and cloaks. My loyal retainer approaches and informs that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. The Herab of Ujjal stands before me, a murky bog, a field of corpses desecrating land. The fields between the dead and dying lie in two long rows, soot-stained and rigid. Bones crack and crumble under my feet. Grieving widows clutch small children to their bosoms as they flee, as their clothes tattered and torn. Please spare. Again, this is going to be part of our territory. There's no reason to kill off their development, even if there was very little to begin with. Well, Frodi, my nemesis, has died of old age at 68. Now, my nephew, who lives over there, different culture, different religion, not Norwegian in any way, shape, or form. Just one of the sons of Astrid has passed on. And Now this 5-year-old rules the roost. Harihara's coming of age. I did what I could with you, but now you are a useful man. For now, until she passes on. She's drunkard and melancholic. Which, bearing in mind, he will inherit the land first, before anybody else. But I believe that we don't need to interfere in Indian affairs anymore. Because what's the point? Repair that. Gotta do something with that money. Now. They ain't budging. You are nothing but a hysterical sycophant. They just took it over. They're throwing their bodies at us. One of ours got killed. Forced my hand. I forgot to switch that out. Why not? Hey, you're good at this diplomacy thing. So I suggest you go for foreign affairs. Get groom of rule and befriend, if need be. And then if I'm still alive long enough, just go for scholarship and just to get a little bit of a cultural fascination progress, since I'm the culture head now. Since we formed the Norwegian identity of things. Now go take that area. Hey, what does that make you? Swedish. Part of our dynasty. To Jokkmokk. Just take those 2 areas, and then you have the objective. Now who would want to do that? This is the worst place to be in. We'll have them dealt with again, sooner or later. Oh, Aslog. Aslog, daughter of Astrid, passed away at the age of 70. You will be missed as well. the mother of Sterbion, who still retains his old Norse ways, but soon I think he'll become a Breton. And if he were to convert to Catholicism because of the land he lives in, I do not mind one bit, as long as the dynasty's doing well in other places, as long as it increases the renown, which will become reputable soon. Nephew in Sognsdal. What you got there that increases their bit of renown? The Sognsdal Propaganda Chronicle. This ponderous volume elaborates in the painful details on the glory of House Sognsdal and its various or more or less bizarre territorial claims. What, did you get that off of a... Aha! Commissioned an epic. That's what he did. Whereas I never commissioned epics. I wish I had the time, but maybe perhaps my son, he would be the kind of person that would, you know, write epics. I mean, he's going to become a patriarch soon. And maybe he should go for a little bit of a gust and be writing history. To talk about us during the days of the Old Norse. But instead, the 960s represents a new era. I exit my tent, the siege camp sprawls out before me, a sordid place, pathetic and undignified. Flags hang limply in the rain fog there, whipped now and then by wind. Worried long-haired commanders sit at tables, trading gossip and tall tales, conferring in private, their urgent whispers drifting on the breeze, while low retainer approaches and informs me that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. Yokamoki stands before me, a lake of ruin, and it fills between the dead and dying lie in agony, their face twisted in pain. Vultures hang on the air, screeching, greedily awaiting the death of the dying. Grieving widows languish in the blackened corners. Face Barrett. And only imprison the important ones. That's only if there were a few inspired people. But we gotta go down now. Finish your siege and follow me. I step out of my tent and rub my eyes. The siege camp spawns over me. Rows of tents, packed into tight squares of brown, moldering canvas, extend towards Lokta. Jagged rocks jut from the ground like a herd of charging horses. At the crest of the hill, about 100 yards to the west, is a huge wooden catapult, but today it is dormant. Flags flap and flutter on the horizon, and at various intervals fires burn. Figures punch over the campfires, tossing on wood or brushing sheepskin clean, while low retainer approaches me, the siege is empty. And look stands before me, a slaughter pen, and fields between empty carts and furniture's framed smolder, surrounded by bones of horses and shattered swords. The survivors emerge from the burnt-out husks of houses, their faces blank and pale in the morning light. Grieving widows weep at their doorways, and barefoot children shuffle amid the rubble. In the name of the gods, follow us. You want to fight out here, in our own turf, that we now occupy. They're gonna regret it. Catch up. Most escaped. Awesome. Where's reinforcements? that one took more casualties than usual. But this is the worst place to be resupplied in. Fortunately, Line is next door. So I'll take it over, you cover us. Because there's plenty of supply out here in the plains. These coastal plains. And by the way, now there's Norwegian names instead of Norse names. Borders of faith. My hearsay approaches me in private with a clear down his eyes. He explains to me that his faith is faltering due to his time spending guarding the border against the Caligas and front eyes of the enemy. His words are not a jest. It feels as if the slightest mistake could push him away from Odin. Yet this is an opportunity to strengthen our fervor as well as our relationship. I'll reignite his fervor myself. He remains faithful. My friend got imprisoned. Do you have another? No, he wouldn't take a lover. So he says. Now we're starving out here. Come on, get in here. Need more men in here just to reinforce. You know, all the men in arms to get the siege progress up faster. You see? Sognsdal dynasty is known far and wide. So now we're reputable. 6%. Just hold the objective a while longer. I step out of my tent, rub my eyes. The siege camp sprawls out before me. A heaving sea of temporary structures and cargo. Wooden siege towers and catapults. A few banners flutter in the wind. Everything is covered in a thick sheen of grey damp like a mud-laden lake. My loaded retainer approaches and informs that the siege is ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. The Herald of Solidity stands for me, a tattered, glimmering pennant fluttering from the highest tower, its flames raging into the pre-dawn sky. I see a ravaged abandoned field, starving cattle and deer picked almost clean. Beyond the toppling walls, I hear women wailing over the dead, shock survivors huddled in smoking ashes. Spare. 1 second. Need a resupply. Split up, all of you. Here's what we're gonna do. One at a time. Go to there. You be here. Yeah. You stay here. I sit, paying only little attention. As the peasant finished their tale of woe, I barely even register what they were talking about. My mind is full to bursting with my own problems. You know, there's a perfect spot in my dungeon for you, I reply about things. A quarter ounce goes utterly quiet. All eyes on a bewildered commenter and me. Evidently, that wasn't the response they expected. Grouchy ruler. Oh, no. Apologies. Now, please repeat your story. Desecration. A temple in my realm suffered a tragedy recently when unknown assailants broke into the night and vandalized some of the religious art and sculptures inside. It seems these hooligans wanted to cause trouble, as they weren't thieves looking to steal priceless spiritual artifacts. Either way, they managed to escape before the guards could catch them. I have no idea who they were. Regardless, while the temple didn't suffer extensive damage, it is seeking any help in rebuilding. I will provide some donations to help them with their rebuilding. Just stand your ground, all of you, so we can resupply. But if they're gonna attack, back them up. Two-pronged attack. Let me take command of this one. We only want the very best. We got him. As you were. Trying to resupply out of here, damn it. Don't go anywhere. A failed expedition to Hillerland. Oh, that's a shame. But it seems it's likely going to be subsistence in the long run, far, far future. Now, did it fail because too many episodes that ended in failure, or due to the traveling to there that ended in failure? Throw everything at it. Enemy banner. The Battle of Sognsdal ended in an astounding victory. I eagerly listened to the messenger as he reads the reports of my command and stand. Then turned to the soldiers for me. My lady, we came upon an enemy banner while we were cleaning the battlefield. We thought it would be a shame to leave it behind. Perhaps you wish to keep it as a trophy. Sure. Gotta make a fine addition to my collection. This will be our last. Man, ever since we brought you over here, you really improved yourself. Even though you're a hunched back man, but who's that gonna stop you? Rattling fiend. Besides the enemy banner that we just took, We also took his mace. Actually, I knew that man. Yeah, taken during a battle. They calls him strong arm. Just like me. But clearly, my arm is stronger. Hmm. This is the war banner. Wasn't there somebody in our prison that oh yes, Vigu. Even though he lives in the Swedish part of Lapland, which barely connects. So we didn't split it in half as we had originally hoped. But it's a start for our expansion towards there. Keep looking. As I said, I find the Sápmi people rather useful to me. How about this? I'll recruit you. Once you're released, I will grant you the lands that your people often live. Because I see you as a... Well, actually, no, he's too old. Okay, find some other Sápmi man with a reasonable age, unless he's got a family already. And if not, well then there's time. A lot of old men. A lot of old Sápmi here. Indian prisoners still here. I guess I'll have that man right here. You should be the one to rule the lands. Because I don't want it. These will be yours, but keep in mind, there's a Norse majority. Well, Swedish, Norse, Norwegian. It's one of those blasted Scandinavians. And will usurp that title off of you, and you will be its ruler. Lapland is yours, but for the sake of for the namesake, because of what your people call your land, it is Sápmi, not Lapland. Now it's time for me to hold court. A traitor uncovered. One of my guards approaches from the executed Thekla and changed Trina behind him. I caught Thekla here in the process of sending sensitive information to the foreign spies in Denmark. What should we do with her? Spy, you say? Well, she wasn't that good. But knowing myself, off of her head. A public accusation. Jonas, Skullboy, and her husband approached cautiously, weary of the assembled court. My lady, I'm sure someone in Enrichment is trying to harm my husband. I have no evidence, but I suspect y'all reckon that given his reputation for villainy comes from his throat. I beg of you, a prison. Put a stop to this madness. Hold on. Excuse me? I will question him. He denies any involvement. I'm sorry. A lost treasure. My lady, I represent the religious community of Het Temple. While rummaging through our modest archive, we've come across a very peculiar book. The cover was dusty, the binding fragile, and the pages were yellowed by time, but it contained the most unusual drawings, and the script itself was unknown to us all. We assert it is unique in the world, a long lost vault of knowledge, a true treasure. That is why we offered it to you. Perhaps the original copy by the will of God, or a memoir from the world's creation. Let me see. Thanks, I'll add it to my collection. Mysterious book. Mysterious book. Oh, I made a worse choice. Rivals between House Acra and House Sognsdal. What have I ever done to you? How did we become the rivals? I'd never done a thing to you. At least you're still holding grudges from long ago. Slain by killed your grandfather. Slain in battle by Astrid. That is so long ago. Marked distinction. As the renown of my dynasty grows, familiarity with the glorious Sognsdal Saga spreads too. My family's device is now recognized in regional circles of nobility, counted highly amongst the prominent Norse bloodlines. As it should be. Now it's improved. Somebody wants to steal something? Okay, I thought of something after the experience of the last war. When I look at the men-at-arms regiments, I mean, we have Huskars, right? Varangian veterans are actually improvements. I mean, they're good at targeting for us. Varangian veterans are good at farmlands, plains, and hills. Not so much with forests. So it kind of gave me the idea that maybe we should replace the Huskars with Varangian veterans. And plus, they counter against spearmen and archers. They counter against spearmen and heavy cavalry, but there isn't any heavy cavalry out there. But the Huskars are good against the archers. The Bondi are good against archers, so I think it'll be alright. Explorers, adventurers, warriors, and mercenaries from all the far-flung Nordic colonies. Some even served in the Varangian Guard, which no longer exists, because the Byzantine Empire is gone. The Roman Empire is gone. But I'm sure there are some armies in the world that will have a heavy cavalry as part of their regular arsenal in the future. So we have to adapt. Just looking. Who's conquering you? Sápmi are being expansive. Are laying with pirates. Oh, this event again. It means even more Yom's Viking pirates. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, my health is poor right now, which I kind of feel like I want the role of this character to begin, because I feel like I just want to get it over with. The other alternative would be to, it does not say the suicide option, but of course that has its flaws. My spies warned about a hunter causing a ruckus in the local tavern. The man's been spending large amounts of gold, bragging loudly about the great deal he struck with a fancy lady in pearls and silk. Apparently drew a map of the local plains for an unknown nobleman. Spies think the lady must be scheming against me, one of my subjects. Bring him to me. I think I can jog his memory. Murder Godwin Fitzfuck. Go for it. In 9 years we'll start getting these, but I don't think they'll be necessary yet. But more focused on getting this. But it's going to take a long time to get there. Because the average development of these Norwegian counties is less than you would think. I'm still smiling at the joke I told you. That's made at this morning's council session. While the other cats smile. Leech, I've been meaning to talk to you. I know how you feel, much affection. But really, a place on the council? He thinks you would want his jobs, man. Hope he understands. Got Marshal. It's because I have a shield-minded trait. Gain a favor hook on him. The Traveler's Tale. The travelers often to tell us of the distant lands which he claims to be returning. Ladies and gentlemen, I left my village as a youth with my pilgrims, bound for Jerusalem. However, a terrible storm blew off our small ship, of course, and left me stranded, alone and bereft, along strange heathen shores. I was soon captured by a fierce Arabian prince with 50 sons, 50 daughters, and 50 wives. I escaped on a stolen horse and rode further east into Persia, where the sun shines so hot that the cattle strayed from the noontime shade could burst into flames. Eventually I reached to the mountainous land of wise women, whose meditations have taken them so close to God that they must tether themselves to large boulders lest they fall to heaven. The traveler was simply unable to breathe life into his story, and the crowd, bored, and started to disperse. I travel the world too, you know. A waste of a good story. That's all I gotta say about that. Ah! Togir! What the hell? Better keep him on house arrest. Whatever crime he has done to you, I can only hope that he's done no wrong. They both have increased their diplomacy skills, just by being under house arrest for a moment. A vessel fit for a drunk. A Dronning's long ship says much about her. It tells you how rich she is and how successful. What image she wishes to project for the rest of the world. I look at my current craft and deem it lacking. As to punctuate the thought, a piece of rigging comes loose with a crack and the whole vessel's creaking ominously as it distributes pressure. Commissioning a new ship is simple enough, but is a simple replacement good enough? Don't I deserve a vessel that tells the world about me? A dragon to roar my name. For the diplomacy. I want you to start developing Signafilki. Hi, thank you. And to the guards. Live said of rhyme he overheard the servant tell, and he crossed up and looks at his student. Where is this? So I wish to discuss it a moment. Very well, what is it? Keep it up. Please let go of him. Okay, he's been released. So glad. At least they didn't revoke his titles. Otherwise, we would have gained problem. Between wars, it's important to keep your skills sharp. This policy is what finds me down at the training field. Brutally beating, brawling, and berating my soldiers in my third mock battle of the day. They moan when I call them back together for the fourth. Let them moan all they like. I have training to do. The shield wall is unbreakable. Put it here. Almost there. His ultimatum. He requested a private audience, and I need a formality that can only spell bad tidings. Þórunn, Jotney, I cannot stand any longer. You exclude me, given it your duty when you knew I was perfectly a good counselor. If this is how I be treated, I'll have to look for new prospects. I hear Quinn Silverfled of West Sax knows how to reward loyal subjects. You threaten treason. A dispute about a council seat, and just for that he's been in prison. A feline hunter. I think I have found a reason why some days are more rat-free than others. Rick happily declares he moves aside to reveal a servant holding a very displeased cat. It wriggles in an attempt to free itself from the scratched-up arms of the servant, meowingly in a rather endearing fashion. I say this one's a successful rat hunter. In fact, it was in the middle of the wrestling match with a fat one when we found him. What say you? Should we adopt this cat? Why don't you take the cat, since you were the one who found it? I mean, you're the one with the most land within Norway. I don't want no cat. Hold on, where? He's there. What happened to your other concubines? This is your only child. Oh, that can't be done. Still live in Dunholm, do you? A warrior's been wounded in training. That's rare. Oh, I see. Alright. I didn't know you were betrothed long ago, half-sister. Common friend. Other things. Elderly Þórunn, we had our differences in the past, but don't you agree that it's time to let bygones be bygones? My brother and rival, Hordic and the Ethnicities. Whatever is between us, let us start anew. Yes, let us. The robbery dates back to the Civil War. You are welcome to return. But I have one thing to say to you. Please, get back to your old faith. Stop worshipping those strange gods you found over there during your travels. Although I have no hand in it, because, you know, she's from very far away. But it's good to know that it's happened. You know, you're going to cause a countrywide civil war if you do that. Huh. I just noticed. Faction demand. They wanted her back. All that for nothing. All that for nothing regarding the Lapland issue. That's strange. And you lose a level of fame because you broke a truce, which isn't widely popular. But I think my son should handle that, along with many talented commanders that we may or may not have. So we took it all for nothing. You know, we served it off it, but they demanded it and they wanted her back. That made me mad. This was all in vain. For all the lives of the men and women that were killed in the forests of Lapland. And they decided to appoint an old person back. Ugh. I was just putting my head on my forehead as a way of saying, you don't! You don't! peasant rabble. What gives? Superstitious of ruler. You know, you're set to inherit everything, right? Give me a moment. And then guess what? You will get to have everything and more. And eventually, dynasty will spread to places all over them. That is it! We're gonna subjugate them! Because I am extremely mad because of the whole Lapland issue. We're not just gonna take this, but all of this as well. We're subjugating them. I'm willing to break the truce. There can be no peace with them. They will pay dearly. It is a dishonorable thing, but I'm doing this out of anger. Because that's what Þórunn is best known for her outbursts. No one's gonna kill me. Not now, not ever. We're going straight to the capital. No, to the sea. Cut the head off of the snake. Failed to build an outpost in Vinland. At least you tried. Bringing every single soldier here so we can siege the capital faster. She's leading an army. I step out of my tent, the siege camp sprawls up before me. A maze of tents and long palisades. A few banners flutter in the wind. Everything is covered in thick shade of great damp like a mud-laden lake. My lower retainer approaches and informs me that the siege has ended. I gather my bodyguards and head to the edge of the camp. Sognsdal stands for me, decaying landscape of crumbling towers, arms and broken fences and burning fields. The fields between the lie dead heaped in massive piles, makeshift defenses to the onslaught of arrows. Beyond the clouds of hungry flies and dust, I noticed the stench of brimstone. Grieving widows and orphan children flee to the ravaged village, crying out. We'll spare it because don't you know this is a religiously significant place? And there's good development at too. Imprison everybody you see there. But too bad that person doesn't have any heirs. Because they're all out there somewhere in different territories. Now, this is still a severe penalty, but it ain't gonna kill you when you've reached the maximum stress. If you get it again, then you'll suffer a mental breakdown and lose 100. But I don't give a damn anymore. Is this a critical health penalty? It's still severe. Again, I am determined to play as this character now, because I figured it's about time knowing he's lived that long. That's the reason why I'm doing this. My liege begs, sir, won't you please do something? Sagafilki burns, you must send aid. My eyes remain shut as I gently swing my cloth sling alone in the tallest tower around, save for the messenger and a Jotnik's ransom, soft pillows and blankets. I believe I gave strict instructions not to be disturbed, I reply. Only in this room, this reality, makes sense to my fraying mind anymore. Because you've reached it. Yeah! I mean, it has happened. Damn it, blast you hapless ingrates! I'll sort it! There, all better now. It's just had a big ol' outburst, that's all. Do not disturb means do not disturb. And now we will get the fourth Dynasty Legacy part of Adventure. Now it's Veteran Explorers, which makes enemy hostile schemes success chance reduced of whatever they're going to try to do to me and for future generations. And a slightly faster movement speed and more 100% supply duration. And then next time, likely in a few decades, decentralized rule where you can use the befriend ability but only to your vassals. And each of your friends' relations gives you +3 vassal opinion, 2 popular opinion, and +1% vassal tax contribution for up to 5 friends. That is very, very useful in the context of the region here in Scandinavia. Again, our aim is to subjugate all of Sweden, so my son can inherit everything. I exit my tent, siege camp sprawls out before me, a maze of sagging tents and ramshackle huts, lit by the yellow fires of cook fires and the green gold-class light of lanterns. Piles of gear and discarded plots of trail cluster all around. Wagons and animals, mules, donkeys and oxen, horses, and even a camel or two. Flags and banners find a damp wind. Bright colors mix helplessly in the grey rain. Smoke drifts on the wind. Throngs of men busy themselves among the tents and siege weaponry. The stench of dirt and sweat thicken the dreary air, stinging my eyes. The smell is mixed up with a strong tang of urine and a rancid odor of rotting wounds. My low retainer approaches and informs me that the siege is ended. Gather my bodyguards and head to the edge again. Here stands before me a blackened, crumbling shell. In the fields between, corpses rot in the grass and vultures wheel and screech. Everywhere are bodies littered amid the rubble. The corpses flicker with the flames licking at their ribs. The smoke bellows in the breeze, not cleared even by the rabid storms that have ravaged the place for weeks. Black-veiled women whimper at the edge of the blood-splashed streets. That man died in his sleep. Now, think. You have the capital, you have the area, but we need to engage them in combat sooner or later. Go in after them. Is that me over there? Yes. Why did I give you that? Why did I do that? Commander's getting killed because of his incompetence regarding the training. Look at you, berserker now. We're gonna still come up over there and get you. Just in case. Come here. That's the Drottning herself. Catch her and we'll win. Hopefully. If you were to wound her first in combat. There you are. We got her. All of Sweden belongs to us. This could lead to a period of instability. So now all of this is Norway. Of course you gotta nominate him to be the successor, but unlikely. But it would be nice if he were to be the ruler of all. And I know there are those that you may not like because, you know, I'm a truce breaker and all of that in order to conquer your land. Who's after you? Oh no, you're joining somebody else's war. And just for taking that over, we've took all of their core artifacts. Nice. Lots of useful things here. Durandal. This short, heavy sword is claimed to be the legendary Durandal, hidden by Roland at his dying act in an attempt to deny to the enemies of the crown. Oh, that's very good, actually. Put that there. What else? Gee, that's better than mine. Put that there. Anything else? At least there was room for improvements. Oh. Killed during a siege. I mean, she was past childbearing age. And she was to inherit that land. Not a Tridkutta. No, you're thinking of that old broad. That's who you're thinking of. You made a lot of angry enemies here. An attempt of my life. You. Nemesis. I'm gonna get after you too. Except that won't work. Then who's gonna have Sweden? If not me. As this man. Not this. Geyser watching. Geysers are a remarkable phenomenon in Iceland. I've had an opportunity to visit my territories to observe one such geyser in person. Or save dates, of course. It's not every day that someone gets to see such a remarkable sight. It's a very interesting sight to see. What the f... My brother died. Another son of Astrid is gone. Made a lot of enemies here. I'm sitting and meditating on the finer points of identity. I cannot help but to think back when I journeyed to Lapland on a pilgrimage. This was a trip far from the quotidian comforts of my life as journey. But the relief I felt upon arriving at Lapland made it all worth the trouble. I believe I'll forever feel closer to Odin. I mean, at least we reconciled at the end. Now, the recent death of my brother Hodakund has left his loved ones grieving the loss of a great man. Great, really? I think he was more failure than great, based on his past attempts to conquer foreign lands. As one of those closest to the deceased, I could take up the mantle hosting a suitable funeral. It is a tradition among the Gudhenninga that we bury our noblest of a boat, and to better carry them to Valhalla. Surely Hodakund deserves this high distinction. I mean, after all, he was an aspiring blade master, torturer, Holavati, Varangian, adventurer, berserker, battered warlike courtier. He may have been not one of the greats, but my niece still lives, but unfortunately has not buried the children, and this will not continue the line of Hodakanuta through Astrid. Great. But hey, he's gone through hell and back. And then he returned, we reconciled. But at least he lived long enough to see that how big Norway has gotten. But now, an ornate sailing ship, he deserves the best. I may be a Norwegian, but he's Old Norse. He's old school, so to speak. Arctic trinket. I don't think you would want that, nephew. No, thank you. A life to remember. I stand in front of a small crowd of mourners, eyes sweeping up over each of the weeping bereaved, and turn and begin my speech. Horakunut. Again, whatever it says doesn't have much to say. I mean, you could make up what she would say, but she's in mourning. The barrel behind me already contains a purposely built vessel, a product of exotic woods and the best of our shipwrights. It will never sail mortal oceans, but it may please the gods to bring the blessings on the deceased. Retainers carrying the last of the burial treasures. Then, finally, Hodakanutta's corpse lay out on top of its bed. Close the mound. And mind you, there's this area here is where we have these ship tombs there, these burial mounds. I mean, that is what we have. And my son has got himself a new spouse, who is Old Norse of Sigurd dynasty. Good choice. converted from Norse to Danish. Because that's what they were mostly. Band of lost birds. A wounded and disillusioned mercenary group arrived at the Fylke of Grantavær. The locals claim to have overheard the talk of settling down after pillaging an easy target and have begun to grow anxious. Tensions are high and conflict is likely to arise if I do not intervene in this manner. Wow. Offered a position at the city garrison. Veteran mercenaries hired as instructors. Give me a moment. I was typing something. Somebody wants to kill the niece. Because wrong religion or whatever issues that she has had. Is my niece? Does she live here? Yes. Now, please get right back. I don't want you to be going around. I mean, I'm glad you're here. Knowing that Horticulture is gone. But it seems we finally buried our grudges. That dates back from the Norwegian Civil War. And plus, we don't just refer to ourselves as Norwegians as a nationality, now it's a culture as well. Keep that well in mind. But for me, I am just waiting for my eventual passing. Yesterday, I was attending a performance given by a local musician. Today, I realized that one of the songs the musician sung, I just can't get it out of my head. It's so catchy. Cause I got spurs that jingle, jingle, jingle. I got spurs that jingle, jingle. As I go riding merrily along. As I go riding merrily along. I mean, I don't know what the rhythm is like. I mean, I've never heard of that personally. I'm just making it up as I go along. So there can be no doubt that Norway and Sweden will split again. Yeah. You can only subjugate only once. But it's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Curious if I feel like I had a reason to live. Sweden, 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 Sweden. Yeah. Who has the most of the, Right, there are some that do want to vote for Tokyo, but others do not because they hate my guts. They have every right to say that. The strongest voting power is her. The one who took Lapland from us. Say, wanna be friends? If you be my friend, maybe I can provide you with something. Whatever that you want, we will give it to you. Anything to try to please him. Still, just changed cultures. Now he's a proper Swede. still at war. Again, I'm still biding my time. When is my time gonna come? When am I gonna leave this cruel world? But, not really. It's just I was thinking about dying, and then I kind of got, yeah, it's about time you should get married too. I honestly forgot about you. And it's a damn shame, really. Find somebody with good, inheritable traits. Hopefully someone smart. Actually, you can find that by some of all skills. Or find someone really handsome. No, we found him. Danish. I mean, I'm a truce breaker. I regret many things in life, but still. Oh, is it time? It looks like it's time. Send another expedition to the west. But unfortunately, it's also not time to do an organized hunting trip because obviously you gotta wait till May. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'll hold court again. I'll see to if I can make it up to you people. That's a big man back there. Anyways, more perceptive things than bows before me, his trusty Storglin said, I have faithfully served you, my liege. You know my charge against Adelscona, Hedron of Lapland, Mr. Nilsas, but I'm no longer young. I bid you divest me with my own lands, Enrichment. Other lords have been given more for far less. Where is that? Aha! It's from there. You shall have this, his title. But this is an act of tyranny, however. But tyranny is the last thing I would want. I'm trying to make amends here. Less tyranny. I'll just say I don't appreciate your tone. Sorry, I wish there was a better way. Solve this seat debate with violence. Carry weapons upheld at all times. This event again. I'm willing to hear you out. This is 100% chance of success, because I'll be a masterful negotiator. Which again, 20% acceptance for the next time they request another character to become their vassal, or anything like that. I considered it, but then again, maybe not. Really? They're willing to vote for him. Now they're starting to come to my side. See, I could be a woman of reason. But it's still a close election. I would assume so. So, I have so much money from my past raids that I'm willing to give them all to you. Wait, stop. This is what this is for. warning. We all know that Christina isn't the most virtuous follower of the human way. None of us expect for Christina to be haunted by a ghost as punishment for the sins she committed in the past. Granted, we do not know why this apparition appears at night in her bedchambers, but according to Christina, it resembles her old friend, who was a great sinner and that recently died. And now she's convinced that her friend is visiting her from hell to warn her about the consequences of her vices. And again, none of her servants could verify the reports of the ghost. How about you? We might as well reform yourself to be less sinful. English hidden peasants moved to Dunholm. If I'm still alive by next year, what do you mean? If you are, okay, not now. You're going to be in your mid-70s and peasant rabble. Yeah, Yurivuki and Signifuki. Right. It's all because of superstitions of ruler. You got it. There we go. We're friends now. Oh, and let's do this again, but this time you have a much stronger effect on I mean, he's still going to have Sweden in addition to Norway, so I am confident that his diplomacy skill, whenever he takes the throne, that he will try to keep this united. I hope to the gods that he can keep it together. If not, then this will be a crippling blow, and rival countries may look at us with appetites and all that. Think. Anyways, now, Sweden. Let's try this again. But a much higher opinion out of all of you. But I think everybody has turned themselves around because the old broke the truce modifier, it has expired. But I'm sending everyone gifts so they could stay with me on this side. Togir is the man. And when I die, look at me with kindness. And I want you to look at him with kindness. And if you don't, that he is not above whatever that he may not be above of. There. Right click to dismiss all. There. Now we're at peace. Mostly. And now that my hope is poor, there's no way of improving it. Actually, I'm still determined to get this at least for the last few years of my life. Get the learning books. God blast it. Where is it? Kristed's book about books. In fact, repair all books. Because books are very important depending on what's needed. Because I am paranoid. Okay. This is for learning. And this one over there, that's also for learning. Oh, wait a minute, we got two of these? Plus 15. Plus 15, compare that to... Oh, good. That'll work. But let me tell you something. He is patriarch now, and he's going exactly what I thought he was going to go for. He's going to be the man that'll be writing epics. Commissioning epics, I should say. To think back of the time of Astrid and Þórunn. A flock the ropeman burst in my throne, hectically searching for the floor and uprooting everything from chairs to skirts in frantic search. Jotnik Þórunn cries on. We are the followers of Edith the Headless, a great holy woman who's been decapitated as part of the prophecy Odin gave her at birth. As is often happens to holy figures, her head starts rolling away. We've been chasing it through the land, and our servant rolled up in a hillock into your stronghold. I will not allow the cult to rummage through my court. The cult is intimidated. We could do everything now. Northumbria is now part of Norway because we took over Sweden. Keep that in mind. And we do have other bits of England. At least you're doing well on your end. But I fear one day you're going to convert to that local culture and adopt the faith. Did I just see what I just see? The Abbasids took Egypt. The Avars have taken their land back. He's gone. No longer overwhelmed by stress. It's a wonder that I've contemplated suicide for this. But, still. Stop right here. I know it has gone long, but in the next episode, yes, we're going to end this episode here. In the next one, we're going to go back to spending our money that relates to Greenland and beyond. And we'll send whoever's going to explore what. As we have, since we ruled Norway and Sweden, which you had to take over all of Sweden due to the frustrations regarding the Lapland issue. And now, you haven't had any children yet? Don't worry, you still got a couple of good years ahead of you. And so do you. Because, oh, you're athletic too. I guess you were stressed one time and you picked up athletic. That's good. Honestly, always at it, and I just didn't pay attention. His character's best friend died. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. But, who was that friend of yours, by the way? Oh, you were actually best friend to Hordakonata. I didn't know that you had a relationship with him. I know he passed 3 years ago. And all that. But at least you're going to be the man of the house. And you've had more children. Twins, in fact. Whilst one stronger and smarter than the other. And don't forget that this is the one who's, got Kashmiri ancestry, even though he doesn't look Kashmiri. He still looks more Norse. Yeah, still purely Norse. But anyways, hope you people enjoyed this episode as we have made amends with the vassals. Things could have get worse, but we're But at least we averted that little crisis. So there's no doubt that in this next episode, this will be Þórunn's last, as we'll be counting down her final years. And maybe we should at least try to make an attempt to build an outpost in Vinland. There's a 21% chance of that happening, but it depends on how the expedition to the west goes. And if it succeeds, let's give that a shot. Because, you know, I got a lot of money to spend. So, join us next time. But until then, so long for now.